this whole arena of education, based on what you've just said, so something has to be done, something has to be reconstructed in the arena of education. So I understand that you have brought mind mapping to Singapore in 1995, right? And you have met, I'm sure you met Henry here, right?
I have met Henry.
Yes, yes, and you have developed this friendship and partnership. So I want to know, what also caused you to introduce this whole mind mapping discipline to this city, and your relationship with Henry since then?
This came from my own personal experience, my awareness of my friends and colleagues in classrooms, and the standard government policies on education. And it was reading, writing, arithmetic. And so children were tested and learned academic subjects and had to be good in that, which is fine at one level. However, more important than those is the child learning not alphabet, not numbers, not academia, but learning how to learn. Because when the child learns how to learn, that child can learn everything. So what the child is then developing is its intellectual capital. So this material in here, this potential, is intellectual capital, human capital. And the first thing the child has to learn is what I was saying earlier, the operations manual for the brain. Now, what's the point of sitting in a classroom and trying to remember if you don't know how to remember? If you want to learn the division between retention and recall, how do you know that? How does your biocomputer operate? In other words, do you know how your chips work, your computer chips? And the computer chips are your brain cells, and they're much more powerful than computers. So how do they work? How do your cortical skills operate? How do you generate them? How do you apply them? How do you use your obviously your words, your numbers, your linearity, your logic, your analysis, your colors, your imagery, your imagination, your ability to generate generally ideas, creativity? How do you learn that? And the minute you learn the operation of this physically, and then you learn about the operation cognitively, and then how do you apply it? Because when I was in university, I learned about, for example, a graph on recall during learning, Ebbinghaus, and I had to learn it. And so I learned it. And I memorized all the bits about it, and I made the answers accurate, and I got 100%, and I hadn't the faintest idea what it was about. So I'd memorized it. So the application of it was what was important once I'd learned about the fundamental elements of me. And that is what all schools in every nation has to do. And Singapore is one of the first countries in the world that leaps on that new pathway, teaching the children how to learn. My delight in Singapore, and working with Henry on this, was teaching an MOM, Ministry of Manpower. I taught 5,000 teachers. And they began to apply it in their classrooms, and children then started to use mind maps. So if you walk down streets in Singapore, most people say, yeah, I know mind maps. And that's a really brilliant start. It's a brilliant start.
Yes.